Hello everyone, this is Dr. Sofia Beloka. I'm a high performance coach and I'm talking to you today from Brussels. I'm a Greek, grown up and born in Greece, and right now I'm based in Brussels. I'm specialized in chronic stress and chronic pain, how psychosomatics are stored in our body, and therefore that's my passion. I love to check behind the words and hidden agendas, the subconscious behaviors that we have and we communicate and we behave with each other. That's really my passion, and I can really reveal what can be for the person the breakthrough and the healing message that can have this kind of behavior. Especially I'm passionate to see how clients are behaved during a fitness session and what this means about their attitude towards life. So when I see something during this kind of session, I help them in order to break through to their next level of their own personal progress, but also in the fitness that right on the moment. But also this helps them to release a pattern that they have in their daily life that also can block their relationships, their health, their finance, of course, their business career, and their love sector. And this is what I would like to discuss tonight. The fact that I'm trained as exercise physiologist and holistic lifestyle coach and a healer, that gives me a great background to serve better what is my passion about. Therefore, tonight I'm gonna talk about how our love relationships and what we go through our relationships can be stored as a psychosomatic pain and increase our chronic pain or our chronic stress. This live was inspired because as I sum up cases of clients that I have, I see a common case pattern of a few of them, of a group of clients, because after summer there was a group of people that I work with or they approach me who have experienced a breakup in their relationship or even a divorce in their relationship. And that I found it very interesting because, of course, it was a great pain and it can come a lot with kind of emotional abuse and a feeling of frustration, guilt, and raise up a lot of patterns and feelings that we might have resist or hide, and can have an origin from maybe childhood patterns or can be represented and reflected to our relationships. So when you see somewhere or you read something, that's why I do this Facebook Live, and it's a general conversation, and if you have comments, please comment below. I believe, and it has proven to be much easier to resonate or turn inwards in us and think, rather when you are in a conversation face to face, because that can raise a lot of maybe defensive or resisting or ego behaviors without letting any doubt or any further reflection to occur. Because exactly this is very understandable, because exactly the pain is so big and so deep. I hope you can hear me clearly, and I'm not talking very low. So I must tell you, and I'm sure that you resonate, I totally understand your pain, because everyone has been there once or more in our lives, and like most of us, as I work with high performance, and high performance I mean not always like elite athletes, but high performer can be somebody who is a CEO in a high position in his career and in his organization. Yes, athletes or directors or politicians, entrepreneurs, and high profile professionals like lawyers, judges, you call it. And you have to perform every day in your career field, when you go home again, at home with your relationship, with your kids, and or depending on which phase of your life you are, you need a different level of performance. For example, when you are in your 30s, when you're a student, when you are in a stage of promotion, when you are in a stage of getting married, that's another level, or even when you are trying to get pregnant, you need another level of performance, and the standards are very different, of course, in every case. This is what I mean when I'm talking about high performers. So with this group of people that, if you're here, you're not by chance, you belong there. What I see, and from my research, is that we all have that one pattern that it is created at one point of our life, and without really realizing it, it keeps repeating with various behaviors or relationships or situations where we devote and consume ourselves. And therefore, because of the variety and the different age stages of our life, we don't really observe that it's one pattern presented with various situations. And for everyone, this pattern is very different according to our, again, experiences. And what comes up from my research is that that is an effect of that pattern in a form maybe of an internal conflict. And as we go the conversation, it will become much more understandable. So this conflict might be in one domain of our life, example as we discussed tonight, in relationships. But it can affect the performance that we have in our work, can affect our finance, and it can affect also how we feel our body, because sooner or later this kind of emotional pain will be stored also in our body. And many of the group that I observe, the clients that I observe, came to me with an excuse of a chronic pain. And the chronic pain could be physically in the body, or you can feel like low in energy, or you can feel like you don't recognize yourself, you can feel drained, and it all result in a physical exhaustion. And as I write in my book, when the pain is on a physical level, it is like the end stage of a psychosomatic expression. And it usually can be also too late, because it has definitely, surely, has been presented previously on a mind, on a thoughtful level, and even previously on a kind of emotional level, like something that doesn't really feel very good in your gut or in your skin. But the hope is that there is hope, of course, and all this, it affects our reality. And the hope is that even if it requires a lot of healing when we experience that on a physical level, once we choose to do the healing work, we can see effects simultaneously going on all levels of our life. And again, this can be, further an improvement on our love life, an improvement on our career, an improvement on our health, and an improvement on our even finance, of course. All these domains correlate. And I usually use this phrase of Plutarch, who was an ancient biographer, who was saying that your inner reality will change your outer world. So sooner or later, whether you have an emotional doubt or a thought doubt, it will sooner or later reflect on our physical or body world. And of course the opposite, the more we heal and we feel better in our inner world, the more our physical reality outside will be much more improved. So maybe you thought about the bad quality of your relationships, but in the past, but maybe you didn't really act drastically because the values of yours were very high and very important. For example, if you have a family, your value is your family, and of course, maybe you want to protect, of course, your family as the highest value, and not really too concerned about yourself or how it could be like a relationship. And this, of course, requires a great courage, because if you decide to react, the first stage is to enter yourself in a kind of situation of chaos. And of course, we are used to represent chaos with much pain. Though after the big house, there is like the new order that is coming. And before the new order and the new standards, there is always a chaos before that. It can be painful, but it's so necessary. And in my life, for example, I have stopped dealing, for example, when I fight or have disagreements with my husband, as a disaster. I have stopped seeing our disagreements as a disaster or as something very dramatic happening. But I have changed my thought pattern to approach it like an upgrade, where we put new standards of our own existence and collaboration and communication and cohabitation, and from that point to reset. And I think I found this amazing, because of course in the past I could feel bad about fighting as shame or as a block of guilt because of my own childhood patterns. As when I was seeing my parents as a small child fighting, I was feeling very bad and very sad. So I was thinking like, this is disastrous and I don't want to repeat this in my relationships. But nowadays I deal this kind of fights, of course, without existing an abuse, without existing or a very low level. I'm talking about disagreements on healthy standards situations, not including abuse or any kind of abuse and disrespect. So when we are in this internal battle, you might feel also that there is like a misalignment, because we are not congruent. You are not congruent, and you start like feeling like a double life. What is happening inside you and what you're trying to save outside of you. And on one side, as you are in high performance, maybe you are used to do because you really want to upgrade and move forward and to advance and to improve and to succeed. Though what we usually have here, and it is also proven with sciences of epigenetics, of quantum physics, of neuroscience, of physiology, that is coming from my field, is that when we are in a process to upgrade, and this is also represented even on our emotional or our thought level, there will be kind of moments of doubt or of even like feeling to put a new standard, and that moment there will be resistance from our represented and manifested outside of us, and we will notice that there will be like a turmoil, and you might also observe your life changing. But if you do not know what is happening, you will think that your life gets really destroyed and falling apart. And the more you observe that falling apart occurring outside, the more you restore it inside, and this will get into psychosomatics. Because at the end point, at the end result, because you resist the change that is occurring, most of all. And it could also be a change that you might not even dare to decide to do. But maybe, as it happened to this group that I was observing, the other person decided. Example, maybe the other partner. Or maybe you even decided because the situation was like really out of control and of normal standards. Because and this is happening why? Because while you upgrade and you advance, other people around you, example your partner, might not be ready or does not want to do the same upgrade and the same growth. And the reality is that there are people who will not be able to follow up with you. Because again, if we go back to values and our priorities are not same as yours, and no person has the same values or priorities with another person. This is impossible, because each one of us represents the perfect piece of the global puzzle, and no one is identical with us or to us. And this is also maybe a great mistake that we do in a relationship, that we want the other person to change, rather to see how we can talk to the other person through communication and talking with his values, so that we also serve our values. And that's, I think, the big trick and secret in so close relationships that we have even in our love life. And it is natural, because we all have, and every person has their own blocks, that it's very normal. Not everybody is always ready to face, and simply because not everyone is maybe so courageous as you. And though you want the advance, you want this upgrade, and this upgrade, it could be, let's say, even like losing some weight. I had some clients that wanted to lose weight, and because the other person wasn't ready to deal with that change, even on the weight size of their partner, that same person that was doing the effort just dropped the whole program that she was doing, even if she was progressing and was seeing the changes in her body and in her life. But tonight I'm not talking about some such simple examples, and I'm talking about some bigger decisions, like a promotion on a professional level or a personal growth case. And on the other hand, this is why I also love personal growth opportunity that a relationship and marriage offers, because it is a huge effect of our potential, and relationships are consistent growth, if we so choose. Otherwise, we stay in our small world, plain small, because we are afraid of what will happen, even subconsciously. So we play small, and we don't choose us, and the other person also simultaneously misses the opportunity to grow. So if you think about that, tell me just what kind of benefit you can get out of such small, plain patterns in a relationship. From my experience and my belief is that we get non-benefit, neither us, neither the other person. Because we are not here to play small. And if we choose our upgrade and our growth, which is the only choice, or you choose, again, like sooner or later, when you resist your growth, it will be represented as you get sick, because eventually when you play small, your soul will react, your higher self and your gut feeling, your great desire, your heart desire will react sooner or later to the fact that you play small and you compromise in a smaller standard relationship. And then, as I mentioned before, psychosomatics will be stored in the body and chronic pain will come up, or something, I hope not, even worse. I used to work with the financial director of an international company that today he managed to realize, we managed to find his trigger pattern, what is this trigger pattern for him, his own one, and to know how to make this trigger work for his benefit as his powerful tool, instead of like sabotaging himself in his relationships or his career. But also for him, like for many other people who have made the leap and crossed that fear and low-level game of themselves, it was not always like that, because there was a period that he was also struggling to hold his marriage. He had twins. He was trying to create the best work circumstances in order to afford and take care all of his responsibilities, and also be like a sensual partner, also to nourish his relationship also through sexual activity, which is very normal. And if you don't nourish your relationship with sex, then you really disrespect yourself and your needs. But this case, this great man, one day he lost it all. And his marriage was over, and he was angry, and he was guilty. And there was a roller coaster of emotions, as you might also have experienced. You know how it feels. And he felt like the victim. And he would reverse the question, like, why this happens to me? Why was this happening to himself? He was trying to reply, to give an answer to himself, since he was really trying so hard. And he has given all for this family stability and relationships to work. And he also, while doing this effort, he also had a series of physical injuries that led to his sciatic back pain. And when he came to me for this pain, of course, we had to heal the root problem of his chronic pain, which this demanded not only physical exercise and other physical treatments, but also we had to go to his chronic pain, to the root pattern, and to do there on the spot that healing work that was required in order to switch that pattern that created that pain, and to deal with this survival ego and put light on this shadow that was keep resisting to it, and to raise these reactions for good. So he went a couple of months only on a deep radical healing prior to work again on his fitness program. Of course, you see how short it can be when you decide to do the healing, because the moment you decide, the moment like you invest your time and your energy, the healing phase has already started, and it starts working just from that stage of initiation. And the bad luck that you might think is only an obvious need of healing that can be very beautifully combined with psychology work, if you do work with psychology therapist, or what other therapy you do. And this healing foundation pattern that you do, it can be very helpful to this kind of treatments as well. And why is that? Because now that after you do this healing foundation root reveal, you will know through healing what and why you do all the other therapies. And you won't spend endless hours there on a couch or on a mat, whatever your therapy you're doing, crying or trying to put your logic to analyze and justify and revive the pain and revive that putting you on the victim position, and spend more energy and drain yourself and your time and your money that can take also for years. Today I was in a stage with other people, and we were discussing about some cases. So a person said how he was disagreeing with the fact that a person can go through 6 years of psychotherapy when with a healing foundation plan, he can really shorten even the psychotherapy session. So to go back to that case of that client, he chose that client, he chose himself, and he could manage to transform that challenge that he was seeing at the beginning in order as a powerful initiative to transform himself with no assumptions, but he assumptions from external people, external situations or external people, but he was the person who was guiding, and he decided to stop avoiding the actuality and the reality of his life. So he chose really himself, and he dropped all excuses, and he balanced his masculine and feminine energy through healing. This is something that we're going to discuss in another video, especially for women. And his pain was way decreased already. So when we entered the physical coaching, the fitness for his chronic pain, the pain was already decreased, and we could work much more in detail right now. And he did his own leap towards his life, so he really did that upgrade, and he finally observed what he had to lift up, to upgrade to, and to stop sabotaging that behavior that he used to repeat the previous years. But now every time from now on he sees and observes himself catching himself sabotaging, he now knows why, where it's come from, and how to deal with it. Something that he didn't manage to do or knew in the past. So because now, instead of going down where the others were in the dramas, now he was lifting others with him, while in the past he was pleasing the others. That's why also he was draining himself. He was a very good people pleasing and choosing to put himself more down. And in fact, a lot of high achievers have this pattern, and that is okay, because we are taught to do that. And we are taught to give everything out to the outer world, instead of also keeping that energy levels also for us. And this can change. And that was the proof that he gave. So he fired up his partner, because when you fire somebody down, first you try to fire him up with your new growth. And if that person cannot really follow, then it is the next level of growth for both to go separate paths, separate ways. And now that specific person is recovered. His personal life is happily. He also upgraded his promotions. He is a CFO of that same international company. And he increased also his sensuality, his love life quality. He's always a very good father with his kids. He's a great communicator. He takes care of the other people's patterns, and he knows how to deal with empathy and compassion. He is very social and free of back pain. Because you see, when you make the choice and you want it badly than anyone else, then your growth will help all aspects of your life. Which for me, the main ones is, as I mentioned also in my lives, in my book, in my writings, is the health, wealth, love, and business fulfillment and success. And remember, when you make the choice. So I invite you, if you have any other questions, or you would like to discuss, or even get into this Healing Foundation program with me, either to pay me or book a call through my website, drsofiabellocca.com. And let's discover what's that trigger, that pattern that is represented with various aspects in your life. And if you choose to play your bigger game and inspire also others, like your kids, your family, your colleagues, or and get attracted by the people that you really deserve to be with, and play that higher performance level game through Healing Foundation. Thank you very much. I will check if there are comments. If I can see your comments. I don't see comments here, but I see everybody, but I see everybody who is watching. Hello to everyone. I'm very happy that you are here, and I hope that it resonates somehow with you. If you have questions, please I will reply later. Hello, Dimitris. You're a positive force among other things. Thank you, Dimitris. I'm here always for you, and congratulations for your own transformations since June. That all people congratulate you for. I'm very proud of you. Hello, Elena. So, hello everyone who watched. I hope it resonated with you. If you would like to touch another aspect of this kind of conversation, don't hesitate to initiate a subject. I also have a very juicy subject that is coming this week on how our blocked sexual energy, so if we don't have quality and frequent sex, can be stored as psychosomatic pain. And I find this very often on people who have lower back pain, and how to help you with some small habits or changes, open your sexual energy. And also another subject that I love is how our coping mechanism when we want to resist when we have blocks, like when our love life doesn't work very well, when our emotional and physical body talk to us things that we want to really resist and not go towards that pain. So we create a coping mechanism in our physical world. And what to do also to break those coping mechanisms, because these can turn into great addictions that we might not even recognize that there are actually addictions. Ooh, yes, so I wish you a very good evening. Hello Themis, hello Eleni, hello Alexandria, hello Fotini. I wish you a very good evening. Happy restful Sunday evening, and I wish you for tomorrow a very good Monday. And remember, you always have the chance and the choice to choose your mood on a Monday morning.